On December 17, 1967, Harold Holt, the Prime Minister of Australia, went for a swim at one of his favorite beaches. At exactly 12:15 p.m., he entered the water and was never seen again. There was nobody, no explanation, no warning. An entire nation was left stunned. This remains the only time in modern history that a country has lost its leader not through politics or violence, but during a simple seaside swim. Despite a massive search involving the Navy, Air Force, and hundreds of volunteers, Holt was never found. For more than half a century, his disappearance has haunted Australia, raising questions that remain unanswered. Was it a tragic accident? A secret operation? An assassination? Suicide? Or something far stranger? Harold Holt was born in 1908. By the time he became Prime Minister in 1966, he had already served more than 3 decades in politics, holding key positions such as Treasurer and Deputy Prime Minister. He was no stranger to responsibility, nor to the sea. Holt was an outdoorsman, an experienced swimmer, diver, and spearfisher who spent much of his free time by the coast. He understood its dangers, yet loved its freedom. By December 1967, Holt had been Prime Minister for 18 months. Though he faced pressure over Australia's involvement in the Vietnam War and economic concerns at home, there were no signs of scandal, breakdown, or retreat. Days before his disappearance, he was speaking confidently of the future. On that summer day, Harold Holt traveled to Cheviot Beach near Port C, Victoria. Locals knew it well as the Rip, a treacherous stretch of water marked by hidden currents and sudden waves. Holt was joined by close friends, Marjorie Gillespie and Alan Stewart, along with their spouses. Witnesses later described him as cheerful and relaxed. At 12:15 p.m., he entered the surf. The sea was restless, though not at its worst. Still, it was dangerous water. Holt swam further out, and then, without warning, he was gone. His friends raised the alarm immediately. Surfers and swimmers searched frantically, but the Prime Minister had vanished into the depths. What started as a local emergency soon escalated into one of the largest search operations in Australian history. The Navy deployed ships. The Air Force sent aircraft overhead. Police divers scoured the underwater terrain. Hundreds of volunteers lined the shore. But the technology of the time was limited. Sonar was primitive, and divers could only cover so much ground. For days, the coastline was searched. But there was nothing, no clothing, no body, no trace. On December 19th, Holt was officially presumed dead. His deputy, John McEwen, stepped in as acting Prime Minister. The nation moved forward, but the mystery endured. The lack of answers gave rise to a storm of speculation. The Chinese submarine theory. Some claimed Holt was secretly a spy who boarded a waiting submarine. Yet his strong support for the Vietnam War and close ties to the United States made this unlikely. The CIA assassination theory. Others suggested the CIA eliminated him to control Australia's policies. But again, Holt was firmly pro-American, making such a motive weak. The suicide theory. There were whispers that he swam out, intending never to return. But witnesses described him as upbeat and hopeful, planning for the future. The drowning theory. The most widely accepted explanation. Holt was caught in Cheviot Beach's deadly currents and drowned. The absence of a body is unusual, but not impossible in such turbulent waters. A formal coroner's inquest was launched, led by Magistrate Keith Brown. After hearing witness testimonies and medical evidence, the conclusion was clear. Harold Holt had drowned while swimming at Cheviot Beach. But many questions lingered. Holt had been taking medication for a shoulder injury, which may have affected his ability to swim. The sea was not at its calmest, and the currents were notorious for dragging victims out into deep waters, never to return. Security at the time was far less strict than it is today. Holt had gone swimming with friends, not bodyguards. Despite warnings, he trusted his experience. Whether it was misplaced confidence or simply bad luck, the result was the same. Australia's leader was gone. The legacy and ongoing mystery. More than 50 years later, The disappearance of Harold Holt remains one of history's enduring mysteries. Some conspiracy theories continue to surface, books claiming he was a spy and witnesses claiming new evidence. None have ever been proven. Ironically, one of the lasting memorials to Holt is a swimming pool that bears his name, a strange tribute to a man who vanished at sea. But beyond folklore, Holt's disappearance had real consequences. It forced Australia to strengthen security for its leaders, and it reminded the world that even the most powerful are vulnerable to nature's force. To this day, the ocean keeps its secret. Whether Harold Holt was the victim of the sea, a conspiracy, or his own decision, the truth may never be known. And so, the mystery endures. The day Australia lost its Prime Minister to the ocean. A story that proves power offers no protection against nature's will. A reminder that sometimes the simplest explanation, a tragic drowning, can be the hardest to accept. If this story made you grateful for modern GPS tracking and wonder how many other historical mysteries are hiding in plain sight, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more unsolved mysteries that will make you question everything you think you know about power, politics, and the perils of overconfidence. And ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode.